Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope everyone's having a good day. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my weekly workout split. I'm going to explain kind of how it's changed over the years and essentially what are the type of techniques I'm using to continue to progress in the gym while adding size and strength after training for about 12 years. When I first started working out at the age of 12, I basically tried to get my hands on as many different type of workout programs I could find online. A really good source was bodybuilding.com. I would just basically look on their homepage, find what programs seemed to be trending the most for that week, and I would simply just start training. For the first 3 or 4 years when I first started working out, I definitely went a little bit overboard in terms of how much intensity and volume I brought to the gym. I was pretty much trying to train at 100% week in and week out, not just in terms of like intensity, but also in terms of the amount of weight that I was pushing. Unfortunately, the body's not designed to push 100% week in and week out. You need time to recover, not just for your muscles, but also for your central nervous system, your tendons and your ligaments, and other type of bodily functions within your body to allow for full recovery. As of right now, my current workout split, I have 2 bodybuilding days and I have 2 strength days. Specifically on my strength days is where I basically take a lot more of a calculated approach in terms of actually looking at my percentages based off of my 1 rep max. So to kind of give you an example, when I'm training, let's say chest, I will rarely train past 82% of my 1 rep max in terms of the actual weight. So for example, if my 1 rep max on bench is 100 pounds, I'll rarely go over 82 pounds for my workout. Now, there's a reason for that, and that's mainly because that basically allows your body to have enough stress to allow adaptation to occur without running the risk of basically overtraining. I'm probably gonna make a separate video in terms of how I go about calculating everything, but to kind of give you an overview, for week 1, I'm training between 70 to 75%. For week 2, I'm training at 75% to about 78%. And then for week 3, I'm training at 78% to about 82.5%. So I'm doing a 3-step ladder type of routine. And within those 3 weeks, obviously my weights are increasing. On week 4, I do a complete deload. I basically take all of my percentages for my compound lift in the form of a bench press, and I drop it by 50%. This allows you to basically have adequate amount of recovery while still actually training, which allows you to further perfect your technique. I apply this method in terms of my actual percentages, in terms of this 3-step ladder technique, to my strength training days only. As of right now, for my 2 strength days, I'm specifically focusing on the bench press and also the back squat. You could apply this methodology to either doing an overhead press or a deadlift, or to be honest, any particular compound movement that requires a lot of energy, time, and focus. By following this kind of method, it allows my body to progress at a steady pace without running the risk of injury, and also essentially kind of increasing body composition. On my strength days, I actually do a lot of volume, not in the sense of other exercises, but more so particularly for the actual compound lift. So for example, on my chest days, I'll actually do about 6 sets of anywhere between 5 to 10 reps. Some people might think, okay, well, you're doing a lot of volume. Isn't that more considered kind of bodybuilding? Not necessarily. Again, working within those percentages of 70% to about 82.5% of your 1 rep max, that's enough stress on your body to basically cause adaptation to occur in the form of strength. So essentially, that's what a full month of training looks like for me. After I'm done the first month, based off of my performance, if everything goes well, I'm hitting my numbers. My second month, I'll actually go in and I'll start increasing the weights for each of my sets for my compound lifts, anywhere from 2.5 to up to 10 pounds, again, depending upon how I perform that month. This allows me to basically improve at a steady pace while adding a certain amount of weight over time. It then gives me basically constant feedback based off of the fact that I've been training hard for 3 weeks and seeing if I'm hitting my numbers or not. On my bodybuilding days, I'm not really focusing on strength. I'm more so focusing on hypertrophy training, which is basically in the form of volume training. And again, my main objective when I'm training hypertrophy is simply getting as much blood and contractions in the muscle as possible to really kind of improve my overall body composition. Seeing that I hit my goal of 500 pounds for my deadlifts, I'm now focusing more on my weaker points, which are basically my back squat and also for my bench press. Deadlifts are always a strong component for me, I think, just based off how my body composition is in terms of my leverages. But in terms of my chest and legs, I definitely was lagging quite behind. So now I'm just purely focusing on strengthening those 2 areas up. Once I hit around 315 for bench and probably 4 or 5 for squat, I'll probably revisit the deadlift in terms of starting to program for it and starting to try to see if I can hit a new PR. But as of right now, that's not really my main kind of objective. My main objective currently is strength in terms of basically my bench press and in terms of my squat, in terms of those 2 numbers. And then secondly is essentially my body composition in terms of actual bodybuilding. In today's chest workout, I'm actually gonna run you through a regular kind of day of what kind of looks like for me. You're gonna notice that the workout is not actually complicated by any means. The main objective for this workout is not bodybuilding, it's more so strength, but I still like to throw in some bodybuilding training near the end just to kind of get some additional accessory movements in here. So let's jump into the workout, guys, and I'll provide some commentary for it. Okay, for my chest workouts, I always warm up with the bar and then I add a 45-pound plate. I usually do this for about 3 to 4 sets, depending upon how much I need to basically warm up for that day. The gym was way more busy than I anticipated. I got here at around 6:50 a.m. in the morning. I was hoping that not many people were going to be here, but unfortunately that was not the case. So this is my second set here for my warm-up. I jump into my third set, which is again 135. I'm kind of noticing at this point that my shoulder feels a bit tight. And you'll see later on in the workout that it does become a bit of an issue near the end of my top set. For some reason, my camera malfunctioned and didn't record my first working set of 235 pounds for 5 reps. But here's my second set at 245 pounds, and I'm doing about 5 reps for this one. So kind of at this point, I'm starting to notice that my shoulder's feeling a bit tight. I think I get about 4 reps here. Yeah, I had to re-rack it at this point, but I come back about like 45 seconds after, and I hit my 5th rep because I got to ensure I hit 5 on my routine here. I'm now increasing my weight to 250 pounds for 5 reps, and this is my 3rd working set of total of 6 sets for this workout. Again, I re-rack it and then come back after about a minute to hit my 5th rep for 250 pounds. Yeah, for some reason my shoulder was feeling pretty tight today. I don't know because I slept on it a little bit weird, but it was definitely affecting my my mobility for this particular exercise. For my 4th set, I actually dropped back down to 245. And then again, I'm going for 5 reps here. And I think I finally hit 5 reps consecutively here without having to stop. But I wasn't happy with that last rep because I didn't go all the way down, so I came back after about 50 seconds to hit it again to make sure I hit proper quality reps. Okay, now at this point, I believe I'm going for 250. And at this point, my shoulder is definitely feeling a lot more tight than it usually does. So I think I say, screw it, I'm just gonna go down to 4 reps in total for this one. Seeing that on my second last set for this exercise. Actually, I think for my second last set, I only hit 3 reps. In an instance when this happens, I usually just re-rack the weight. Again, I'll give myself about 50 seconds, about a minute to recover. Then I'll come back and I will hit my last rep. But I think for this one, I only had about 4 reps in me in total for this 5th set. Yeah, so at this point, my shoulder is like super tight. I go for my final set of 265. I was supposed to hit this for 5 pounds, but as you can see, my strength and my shoulder were just simply not there today. And again, this happens. It's all good. All you need to do is basically kind of like reevaluate, either look at your mobility. And the good news is that this is actually my 3rd week of training, so I'm taking a deload after this workout to allow my body for full recovery. I'll not increase my 6th set on my 3rd week of 265 pounds because obviously I didn't hit it. But everything else that I successfully hit, I'll increase it by probably around between 5 to 10 pounds, depending upon how I perform. But obviously for this week, since my shoulder was a bit tight, I'll probably take more of a conservative approach and only add about 5 pounds for it. I'm hitting my second exercise for today, which is an incline chest press. I think I'm doing about 80 pounds here. Repetition-wise, I think I'm going between 5 to 10 reps. I'm just doing a nice little finisher here. My shoulder definitely still felt tight as the workout was kind of going along. It just felt good to kind of get out of the bench in terms of doing a flat bench press, kind of moving over to a little bit more kind of accessory movements. Now I'm hitting my final set. I think this is my 3rd set. Using 80 pounds here. Again, going between 5 to 10 reps. For the 3rd chest exercise today, I'm hitting dips. Range of motion is not as ideal as I would like it to be, mainly because I believe it was my right shoulder that was still kind of causing me some issues. But generally speaking, I usually try to go a little bit further down to kind of get more of a, better contraction for this exercise. And for this exercise, I'm hitting anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. Now to my last and final set for dips. Now moving on to my fourth and final exercise for today's chest workout. I'm going to be doing some tricep rope extensions. One thing to note here, guys, in terms of my actual technique, it definitely was not ideal. At this point, my triceps and my chest were pretty much completely gone. What I probably should have done was kept my elbows a little bit more in control. As you can kind of see, they're swaying a little bit too far up. This happens at times when you're training at heavy percentages in terms of weight, but just something to kind of keep in mind. And also, after I put the weight back down for each of these exercises, my shoulder was definitely still feeling tight. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my lacrosse ball today or during this workout, so I couldn't exactly actively kind of release any knots in there, but definitely something to bring for next time. That pretty much concludes my chest workout on my third week of my program. Currently my stats are 6 feet tall. I'm currently 200 pounds. Definitely not as lean as I usually like to be, but when I'm bulking, this just kind of comes with the territory. I would probably say I'm around 14, maybe 15% body fat here. The goal is to keep bulking up until I think around 205, and I'm going to start doing my cut, and I want to get closer probably to the 10 to 12% mark in terms of body fat. But in terms of strength-wise and how I'm feeling overall, definitely the strongest I've ever been. Anyways, guys, that kind of concludes today's workout. Hope you guys found this video to be helpful, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.